Money probably doesn't buy you happiness, but it can give you freedom, security, and peace of mind. Whether you're just starting out in your financial journey or you're looking to take your finances to the next level, in my opinion, there are 5 key steps that you can take to enhance your finances and improve your future wealth. Hello, my name is Lewis, and here we talk about everything to do with personal finance, growing your money, and how to make your money work for you. And on this video today, we're going to have a chat about the 5 key steps I believe that exist that can help you move your wealth forward and help you grow your money for the future. In this video, I'm going to break down those 5 key steps, from sorting out a budget to investing in yourself, and show you how you can break down your path to future wealth and how you can help grow your money with a few simple changes and actions. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Step number 1 is creating a budget. Nobody became successful without a plan, right? Well, that's applicable to this situation. If you want to start on this journey to improving your financial situation, then the first thing that you're going to need is a plan. And that plan starts with a budget. Creating a budget is one of the most important things I did when I was transforming my financial journey and where I was with my money. And since creating my budget, I haven't looked back. It's allowed me to track what money I've got coming in, what money I've got going out, and what every single pound that comes into my account, what role it performs in my bigger financial picture. And that's exactly what a budget can do for you. By starting out with a simple budget, just start it for 1 month and just have a go at tracking all of your incomings and all of your outgoings. And all of a sudden, you'll start to notice how much of a difference it makes to your financial picture and also how you think about the money that you spend. And that's the key here, is how you think about that money and making sure that money is going and being spent on the avenues that are most important to you. Once you know where your money's going, you can start to assign it jobs that align with your future goals and where you want to get your money to. Now, that might be the conventional 50-30-20, spending 50% on the essentials, spending 30% on you, putting 20% away into savings investments, or however you want to cut those percentages up. But by having a budget allows you to get there, and it allows you to make more informed and better financial decisions as you think about your longer term wealth. By creating a budget, you also control the narrative as well. Think back to a time, even if you've got a budget at the moment, think back to a time when you didn't have a budget. All that your bank account told you was where your money went. But by having a budget, you're taking control of where your money goes. You're telling your money where you want it to be spent rather than your bank account telling you where you spent it. And that narrative is really important in being able to seize control of your financial journey. And that's why it's the most important step, and step number 1 on this path to a better financial future. Step number 2, paying off debt. Debt can be like an anchor weighing down on your finances. Maybe you've got yourself a good financial setup already. Maybe you're investing some money. You've got a good amount of money going into your pension. But if you're carrying debt with you, then your debt is also accruing interest, but that interest is negative. So if you're at the moment, say you're earning 6 or 7 or 8% on your investments that you may have, if you're carrying some debt with you and that debt is, say, let's say 5%, and let's say your growth was 8% on your investments, that actually means that net you're only up 3% because you've got 5% of your money going out just on interest on debt that you haven't paid off yet. Then when you bring inflation into the mix as well, all of a sudden it really starts to erode the money that you're making from those investments. So that's why paying down debt is so important and so comes so early in this journey towards having a better financial future and improving your wealth. There's multiple ways that you can pay off debt. The 2 most common ways relate to snow, weirdly, in that you can either go for the snowball method or the avalanche method. So let's break both of those down. What are they? So the snowball method takes the approach to debt of listing out all of your debt. So list out on a bit of paper all the debt that you've got and start by working out a method that allows you to pay off the smallest amounts of debt. Now, you can probably start to see where I'm going with this. The snowball method and the theory behind it is that as you start to pay off some of those smaller debts, you get more confident with paying off debt and you become more comfortable with doing it, and it becomes part of your financial map and part of your budget that we listed in step 1 consistently. So then you start to pay off more and more and more debt, and like a snowball taking in snow, so the debt payoff snowball gets rolling and it takes in more of your money to pay off more and more of your debt. until eventually you get to the bottom and all your debt is paid off. That's the first way. The second way is the avalanche method. Now that is the opposite way around. Again, list out all your debts on a bit of paper, but instead go after the big ones. And quite often the big ones will be accruing the most interest as well. So whether they might be loans or they might be big credit card debts. And on those, you're likely to have high interest rates as well. That high interest rate is exactly what's causing the problem, eating away any gains that you might be getting for investments. So the avalanche method takes the approach of pay off those big ones first, pump the money into the big ones, get those paid off, get rid of that high interest, and then start working down through the smaller debts that you may have until eventually you get to the bottom. Personally, my favourite approach is the avalanche method. It's actually a method that I've used recently to pay off some of my debt. I was very, very lucky to be able to get married this year, and as with most people, come out of that wedding carrying a little bit of debt. I took the avalanche method to paying off that debt, and in about 4 months, I've managed to get rid of most of the debt that we had from our wedding. And that's a great feeling to know that I'm going to have that debt clear really soon and not have to worry about it anymore. So I'm personally a big fan of that method, but that method doesn't work for everybody because you need to be able to free up the money in your financial plan, in your budget as per step one, to be able to pay that money down quickly. And that's not always the easiest thing to do. So there's two methods there that you can use, and you should decide which one's best for you. But that's why paying off debt comes so high in the ranking and ordering of these steps, because before you think about growing your money, you should be getting rid of the things that are drawing down on your money. Step number 3, building your financial base. Now, this step can't be understated, the importance, because this step is going to put the foundations in place for you to be able to accelerate your growth and move your money in the right direction. And this mainly consists around building yourself an emergency fund. So I like to use the analogy here of imagine buying a house on auction, a really old run-down house. It's maybe not been lived in for a long time, whatever. It's not livable for you at the moment, but you buy this house because you see value and you see the potential of the plot of land that you've bought the house on. So steps 1 and 2 that we've been through in setting up your budget and paying off your debt, that involves ripping down the old house. Let's get rid of that. We don't want that anymore. So rip that down. You're starting yourselves with a then clean base. You've got rid of your debt. You've got yourself a financial plan. You've got rid of the old house. This step is now about putting the foundation blocks in place for your brand new house and your bright new future. And that's exactly what we're going to do here with an emergency fund. And that's why this step comes in right in the middle of your financial journey. Once you've cleared those debt burdens, you want to be getting yourself an emergency fund that you can use in effectively what it says on the tin, in the case of an emergency. So imagine an unexpected major financial cost comes up. I've used examples before on previous videos of the boiler breaks right before you're about to go into winter, or your pet needs an emergency operation or something like that. You need to take it to the vet. You've got an unexpected vet bill. That's a great example of something that could come up that you need an emergency fund for, because they're an unexpected cost. You can't budget for those every single month. And sure, you could be contributing a small amount as part of a direct debit or a standing order that allows you to build a bit of money over time in case something like that happens. But really, that's what an emergency fund is for. An emergency fund is to pay for those unexpected bills that you're not expecting to come in, and they catch you off guard, and they're normally a significant financial amount. This money can also be used in case you lose your job. And that's the other really important job that an emergency fund fulfills, is if you were to unexpectedly lose your job, you were made redundant, the emergency fund is there to tide you over until you're able to source yourself a new job. And that's why an emergency fund and the recommended amount for an emergency fund is tied to your salary in the job that you have at the moment. So the general recommendations for an emergency fund sit somewhere between 3 and 6 months of living expenses. That's what you need to have saved up in a high interest but easy access savings account. High interest, why? Because you want that money to still be earning money all the time it's sat there. So you want to be getting the most free money effectively that you can. But easy access, because you need to be able to get at this money at the drop of a hat, because those bills can arrive at any moment in time, and you need to be able to pay them off as reactively as they have arrived on your doorstep or through your letterbox. So the money needs to be easy access, and it needs to be in a high interest account based on it being easy access. But then once you've got those funds sorted, That then enables you to build a strong financial base to be able to kick on. Why 3 to 6 months? Because that, as mentioned before, buys you enough time if you were to lose your job to be able to find a new job as well, and then be able to start kicking on with your finances again. By living expenses, which I mentioned before, that's what it should be based off. So it shouldn't be based off of your salary and emergency fund. So say if you were earning £2,500 a month, I'm just air plucking numbers here, your salary income is £2,500 a month. That doesn't mean that you need to times that by 3 or times that by 6 to have that emergency fund saved up. What you need to do is work out of that £2,500, how much of that is core spending, how much of that pays your bills, pays off any debts that you've got, pays for food and pays for fuel, any essential life costs that you need. Luxuries, cut them out, but any essential life costs that you have need to be covered 3 to 6 months worth. So for a lot of people, this number tends to fall in and around the 1,200, 1,500, maybe 1,700 mark, somewhere in that area. That's the number you want to be looking at, timesing by 3 or timesing by 6. The ideal is obviously timesing by 6 and having 6 months. But even if you've got 3 months, that's a really good base to be starting from. If you're watching this video and you don't have anything saved in an emergency fund at the moment, that's okay. Firstly, work through the first 2 steps that we've covered, and then you'll get to this step. Just aim for £1,000 to start with. £1,000 can go a long way and dig you out of a lot of holes if you get caught with any unexpected expenditure. So aim for that to start with, and it will just give you a base to then be able to kick on and either start moving your money and making your money grow for you, or be able to build on your emergency fund more because you'll have built up more confidence in how to grow it. Now, this next step, I'm going to call it step 3A because it's a little bit of an interjection. Before you go on to the next step, I want you to give yourself a pat on the back. You've gone through 3 of the hardest steps in sorting out your financial journey. You've made a budget, you've taken control of where your money's going and the narrative of your money, what comes in and what goes out every month. You're now in control of that. Not only that, you've paid off all your debt. You're debt free. That's an amazing place to be in, and hopefully empowers you to go on and do bigger things with your money. And then thirdly, you've now got yourself a safety net so that if anything goes wrong or anything comes in unexpected, you've got the means to be able to dig yourself out of that hole and make sure you can tide over your finances. That deserves a massive round of applause. Pat yourself on the back because that's a great position to be in. And a final interjection from me. Hopefully you're enjoying the content so far and you're finding this really interesting. If you are, then please do make sure you like this video and leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting together so much more content that hopefully helps you on your financial journey and helps provide more information about finances, how to grow your money, pensions, side hustles, all those things I'm going to cover. So if they sound of interest to you, then make sure you subscribe so you can check out when I post more videos in the future. Step number 4, this is where it gets fun, investing. Investing allows you to grow your money and make your money work for you. So hopefully when you've been through steps 1 and steps 2 and then step 3, and you've got that emergency fund sorted, you don't have any need to be putting money towards savings anymore. So that money that you were putting towards savings is better spent in the investments and putting it into the stock market. That's where your money's really going to start to work for you. Money beyond the numbers we discussed for your emergency fund is probably wasted because interest rates on bank accounts doesn't really tend to outbalance inflation. So over time, your money's not really growing. It's just remaining as its purchasing power is just remaining the same. However, if you were to invest in the stock market with that extra money, you're giving yourself the opportunity to grow your money. Now, before going into this section in more detail, it's really important for me to caveat that investing involves taking risk with your money. That means your money can grow and it can also lose money. And that is the caveat that comes with investing and something that you should consider before making any investment decisions. You don't need to be a Wall Street expert to start investing, but what you do need to be is consistent because that's going to be key to you being able to grow your money. Start simple, pick out a few ETFs, particularly ETFs that cover all of the world or cover all of the American stock market, ETFs that track the S&P 500 or all world funds that take in the key stock markets from countries all across the world. By doing that, you give yourself some blanket coverage and also you diversify your money. They're really easy, and it's a really easy way of starting out by investing your money is to pick just a few simple ETFs. You can do this on a platform such as Trading 212, which is the platform that I use, and there's lots of others out there as well that Make it really straightforward for you to be able to invest your money. Do a little bit of research, pick out a few ETFs that might be right for you, and then start an automatic payment that goes from your account every month into those funds that you've picked out that make up your portfolio. I mentioned at the start that consistency is key for this. What you want to do is make sure that that payment is automatic. And that's what I mentioned, because by making it automatic, that means it goes out at the start of every month and you don't have to worry about it. That money will just disappears out of your account before you really even see it in your bank account, and even before you're putting together your budget spreadsheet, particularly for that month. Like, that money's already gone out into your investments. By doing that and by keeping consistent, ignoring any of the ebbs and the flows in the market. Sometimes your money will go up, sometimes your money will go down. That's okay. You're in this for the long term. You're in this for 20, 30, 40 years. And over that time, your money, if based on previous performance, your money will grow and your money will be worth more at the end than it is now. So you want to stick at it. You want to make sure you're investing consistently every month, exposing yourself to the stock market, and making sure that your money is worth more in the future than it is today. And if you're starting out on investing, it really is something that's new to you, or hearing this video, or something you've only started with recently, make sure you're making the most of the benefits of investing. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing this. Firstly, if you were to choose to put your money, your extra money, into your pension, your workplace pension or your personal pension if you're self-employed, then there's some tax benefits that can come with that. By putting the money into that pension, particularly if you work for a company and you're set up in the workplace pension, which you should be, if you put your extra money that you've got into that, it actually gets taken out of your account before tax. So therefore, you actually get a bit of a tax rebate on that, and you're not paying as much tax as you would have to as if that money came through into your account normally. So putting your money into a pension is a really good way of starting to invest. This money is for the long term, right? And that's exactly what pensions are there to do. They're there to provide you money in the future. So that's the first thing that you can do, and that will help make your money go as far as possible. The second thing you can do, if you choose not to put it into pensions, that's absolutely fine, and it comes through into your bank account every month. Set up a stocks and shares ISA. An ISA, if you live in the UK, I'm sure you're familiar with these, but if you're not living in the UK, an ISA is effectively a tax-wrapped account that allows you to earn money on your money without being taxed on it. So you're, at the moment in the UK, we have a £20,000 ISA allowance. That means you can put £20,000 into that ISA every year, and you won't be taxed on the gains that that account makes. And that's what's really important, because you can start making your money work for you without having to pay any tax on the money that you earn. Now, I appreciate putting £20,000 a year in is a long way off for lots of people, me included. But just by starting small and adding £100 a month, £200 a month, £50 a month, even £20 a month, it doesn't matter. This is about at this stage, if you're new, is building the confidence to be comfortable with investing and seeing how your money can operate in the market and hopefully start to grow. As it does, you gain more confidence and you start to see the value of growing your money and about wanting to create a better future for you. That is what this video is about at the end of the day, is about making a better future for you by being in control of your money. And investing is a really good way to do that. Step 5, the last step. This is my personal favorite one, and I don't think the value of this is understood by a lot of people. The 5th step is investing in yourself. You can have a house, you can have a car, they're all assets that you own. But your biggest asset is you and the skills that you know, because you can put those skills to work to earn you more money in the future. By upskilling yourself as you go through this journey, you're opening more doors for yourself to be able to earn more money, create more money, and improve the health of your overall financial system by bringing out more money into it over time. And I think that's really important and understated by so many people. So as you're going through this journey, whether you're at step 1 and you're starting out a budget for the first time, or you're already at step 4, you're in control of the other steps, you've started investing, start to think about what you want for your long-term future. What does your future look like? If your life is wealthy and you're happy, what does that picture look like for you? Because that's going to help steer what you want to onboard for yourself as you go forward. And when you've got that picture clear, then you can start to move and learn the skills that you want to learn that helps you go in that direction. So for me personally, I've made the decision that I really want to be involved in finance. It's always something I've been really passionate about. So while I'm going on this journey, I'm starting to slowly educate myself on how to be a financial educator probably is the best way of describing it, because what I really want is to be able to help people be better with their money and go through the same journey that I've been through and learn how to improve my money, because I found it so rewarding. And I think there's so many people out there that will experience that same feeling. So as I'm going through, I'm making sure that I take in information, I'm dedicating time to learning the skills of how to be a better financial educator so that you watching this video can learn more from me. And I'd encourage you to think about the same for yourself. Like, yours might be totally different. It might be that you really like designing stuff, or you really like writing, or there's lots of things out there that it could be. Have a think about what that is and how you want to start navigating your skills towards that. Maybe even create a side business out of it so you can start earning a little bit of money, because that little bit of money is really going to inspire you to want to kick on. There's no better feeling than earning money out of something that you've chosen to do yourself. It's okay bringing money home from work, of course it is, but earning money from something you've set up for yourself is so rewarding, and I think is so important. So yeah, definitely give that some thought, and it's a really important step for me in this journey. So that's why I wanted to include it for you. So there we have it. There are my 5 tips of how you can help improve your financial future and help make a better path and journey for yourself in improving your finances. Firstly, get yourself a budget set up. Once you've done that, get paying down that really expensive debt. Those interest rates will honestly be like an anchor on anything you try and grow in the future. When you've done those 2 things, get yourself the safety net. Let's build the foundations of our new home, of our new journey. Get yourself an emergency fund sorted. When you've done those things, great news. Now we're on to the fun bits. Get your money moving, get it invested, start investing in ETFs or whatever you choose to invest in that makes you feel comfortable. Let's get started on that journey. And then when you've got that system going and that system's going around on repeat, have a think about you. What do you want to do? Invest in yourself and make sure you're learning the skills that you need to be able to create a better financial future for yourself. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, as I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel to see other content like this. Make sure you give the video a like, drop a comment. If you've got any other steps that you would add into your journey, I'd love to hear about them. So please do drop them down in the comments as well. But other than that, all that's left for me to really say is thank you very much for watching the video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.